Okay guys, we have one more video of our study guide before you take your CBA on Thursday. So let's look at it. It says 6.5C. I can use fractions, decimals, and percents to find equal parts of the same whole. Our question is, at the end of the school year, Manny's class had a pizza party. The strip diagram shows the number of slices of pizza left after the party. So the first off, before we even look at the question, let's look at what they're telling us here. The first thing they're telling us is that we have one whole pizza that was left. So that's one whole pizza, and then there were 3 pieces of the pizza left over. What they're also telling us is that each pizza was cut into 8 slices. But if you notice, they give us the improper fraction and the mixed numbers, so it's completely up to us how we determine to solve this problem. So let's look at it. It says, which value is equivalent to the number of pizzas in the party left after the party? Well, I see decimals and I see percent. So I'm going to go ahead and change this 11/8 to a percent and a decimal before I go back and look at my answer choices. So we've got 11/8 or 1 3/8. I'm going to go ahead and use this 11/8 because they've already got it as an improper fraction for us, and that's so much easier to change to a decimal. 8 goes into 11 one time, which is 8, and I'm left with 3, right? So I can't take 8 into 3, or it's not a 0, so I have to add a decimal, add a 0, and bring it down. 8 goes into 30 3 times, which is 24. And when I subtract 30 minus 24 is 6. I add a 0, and I bring it down because it wasn't a 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times, which is 56. When I subtract, I get 4. So I add a 0 and I bring it down. 8 goes into 45 times. 5 times 8 is 40. And that gives me 0. So my answer is 1.375. Now, I want to talk about this before we go back and look at our answer choices. They tell us that they have one whole pizza. If I had one whole pizza, guys, that would be 100%. So the first thing I have to look at my answer choices is, are any of these, they had more than 100% left over. So the first thing I can do is I can say, well, my answer can't be C because I have to have at least 100%. But then I have this 375 over here. And when you multiply by 100, you move the decimal over twice. So this does end up being 137.5. But how do we change a decimal to a percent? Well, we multiply by 100. So I have 1.375. Multiply that by 100. 0 times everything is 0. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I know you can't see. 0 times everything is 0. So I'm done with that 0. 0 times everything is 0. So I'm done with that 0. So now I have this. 1 times 1 is 5, or 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 1 is 1. I have 3 decimal places up here, so I need 3 decimal places down here. So I get 137.5%. But when I got 1.375, I could eliminate both of my decimals. And because I had to be over 100%, I automatically knew that D was my answer. But I wanted to check myself just to make sure. I hope these videos helped. If you have any more questions, all you have to do is ask. And I will see you at school tomorrow.